Fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Game 6 talk.
Let's go. This ain't the fuck night. Oh, this game, he stinks.
Oh, shit.
It's gone.
Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the A2D Radio Sixers post-game show. We are brought to you by our doc. Make them yours. Joel, make them yours. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Our doc, Paul Vidal. Go check him out. Locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. And he gave us a great video to throw up yesterday on our social platforms about Joel's injury, so you can get a little bit more inside information there. Nick Delgazzo, Ryan Brodo, I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. This is going to be fun. This is not what anybody expected. We'll get to our comments of the night at the end of the show. Our loser of the game, where do you start? Winner of the game, not anybody here. And our gut reactions, and our gut reactions are brought to you by Manscaped, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life from the lawnmower to weed whacker, the ball deodorant. Manscaped, you'll love all their products. So make sure you go use our promo code A2D and get 20% off and free shipping. My gut reaction to it is, it's tough right now. It's tough to like swallow because I don't think anybody expected this, right? Like if they came in and they beat you, right? You're like, okay, right, a game-winning shot or something in the last possession, right? You're like, okay, right? This is a team that didn't show up tonight. I mean, you didn't show up. Nobody showed up in an elimination game for the other team. You could put a team away in your building and you don't show up. You don't match their energy from Jump Street? Listen, I mean, we're going to talk about Joel and the hand, but listen, like I'll say to any player, and Joel's my son, if you're hurt like that and you can't have energy, then don't play, right? For any player. I said about Harper the other day. I don't care. I'll say about any player. If you can't produce and you end up hurting your team, then don't play, right? And we've seen to Joel Embiid that if he plays 40 minutes, he's giving you 30 plus. Gave us 20 tonight. This is going to be a problem moving forward. Now it's like, hey, we see it. Everybody sees it, right? It's a problem. It's a problem. And then it's going to affect him defensively, engaging him, right? Because you're favoring something. But that all being said, the MVP in a league, per se, who's trying to play through this, is playing in this basketball game tonight. He's playing where other guys got back soreness and A, B, C, and D. All right? And he's playing through it. So how about somebody on this goddamn roster, right? Step up, right? Step up for your teammate. And that's what's concerning about tonight. We'll have concerns moving forward, obviously, right, guys? In the second round, if we even get there, or game 6, game 7, we got concerns, right? We absolutely have concerns, all right? Biggest concern is Joel not healthy. Other concern is, where's anybody's effort? James Harden, he stinks. He stinks. I'm just going to say it now. I'm just going to say it. All right? This is a game that he needs to come play great. He needs to be great. And I'm not doing revisionist history. I don't care about the trade. You got to make the trade. I'm saying that we made the trade, and he's got to play great. in a game like this. He has to. He has to. You can chalk up Maxey being young, and he actually probably gave us the most energy, right? Tobias, I thought was okay. I thought Tobias was Tobias. It wasn't terrible. It's up to James Harden tonight. It's got to be the James Harden show tonight. And listen, he can still take guys off the dribble. He can't finish anywhere around the basket anymore. I mean, listen, us three are like, us three are getting a block. Check me in. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to swat him. Right? It's that simple. He just doesn't have the elevation anymore. He doesn't have the lift. Okay? And it shows when you're shooting jumpers, when you're shooting threes, and his threes just aren't the same anymore. They're not the same. Right? All right? And listen, he'd come out and have a great game 6 and good. If he does, whoop-de-doo, I'm trying to win a series, right? But we can only talk about what we've watched. And the distributing and being a true point guard, all that's great. Tonight's the night you got to take over. Tonight's the night you got to take over. Nothing else matters. 5 turnovers, too? So you played sloppy basketball, leading the crew then. If you're our point guard and you have 5 turnovers tonight, when I need you to be great, and then you shot bad, too? I mean, the 2 late threes don't even matter to me. The 2 late threes are just throw them out the window. We're going to talk about what happened through 3.5 meaningful quarters of him not even showing up. Not even showing up offensively. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Okay? I can deal with other guys. Right? We can deal with Maxey. We can deal with Tobias as being Tobias. That guy is what this is what we got him for. We didn't get it. We didn't get him for anything more than playoff basketball when we talked about him during the regular season. How's he going to play come playoff time? In games 1 and 2, I thought he was solid. Games 3, I thought he was okay. Right? The last 2 games he's been downright atrocious. And aspirations past this with a guy and our best players got a torn ligament. I mean, this is typical us. This is it. Hey, Tom, what is it like to be a Philly sports fan? Exhibit A. Exhibit goddamn A. This is what it's like. We have the best player on the planet. The planet. Actually, you know what? He might be the best player in the universe. The best player in the universe. And this is what we get dealt with. And I'm not making excuses. This is just the facts of the matter. Like, give me on your left hand. Give me, right? Take a toe out. Take a toe or something. I mean, on our shooting hand, too. And then our next best player, supposedly, right? Our next best player has been atrocious when we need him the most. And this is what we've heard about Harden. This is what we watched about Harden. I need to have any hope, right, to win this series and to go on and win another one maybe. This guy's got to come out and ball in game 6. Like, I need something to bring me back into him, win or lose. Like, even if we win and he has an average game, I'm going to be concerned still, right? Because I need him. We need him. So my rant is this guy's unacceptable. Your MVP's playing like this when guys are sitting home with back spasms, all right? And he's playing with a torn ligament because that's how bad he wants it. Now, did his play on the court defensively show he wanted it? No. I'm not saying it did. I'm saying where's everybody else on rotations? Nobody moved. Nobody moved without the basketball, and nobody moved on the other end of the court. And when you do that in a decisive game, and you want to talk about tighter aspirations, you want to talk about Broad Street, kiss my fucking ass. Thanks for the super chat, Jason. We really appreciate it. Do you think Nick Nair's out coach? No, I don't think it's out coaching. I just think out coaching has nothing to do with energy at this level. Like, he don't need to freaking give everybody handies before the game and say, you guys ready? You guys ready to go? It's the big one. No shit, it's the big one.
Absolutely. But we all know Doc's history, so I mean, it doesn't bode well. But he didn't have his fingerprint, on this game per se. You know what I mean? Like you summed it up, with a lot of things he said. I thought, defensively we were fucking atrocious. We couldn't get a stop. I mean, not can we get a stop. It's one thing if teams making shots and you tip your cap to them, and a team might be playing better offense, right? But when you're just you're letting guys go right by you. I mean, there's no effort right there at home in a closeout game, and it's embarrassing. And we talked about Harden. You can be the fourth guy, you know what I mean? But you gotta sense it's one of those nights where the big fella's obviously dealing with his hand thing, and he's trying to play through it, and the other 2 guys are not throwing it in like we need them to. So that's a night where you got to go for 30, man. You got to go for 30. So he's pretty much been everything that people said he was, right? So and here we are, and we were hoping that change of scenery. Playing with the that should be the MVP, but he won't get it. But we thought maybe stuff like that. Hit Morey is like a stepdad. We thought maybe stuff like that was gonna, was gonna bring the best out of them, and we just really haven't seen it. We've seen some glimpses, but really overall, like you alluded to, we've seen a guy, a YMCA guy, a guy that's just slow and just it's terrible. It's a terrible thing to watch. All around, and you got out rebounded. 15 turnovers. All right, you got out rebounded. All right, you shot the ball atrocious. All right, you got out hustled, and you just got outplayed. You got outplayed on your court. Now you got to go back to Toronto, and good luck there. And then it's a coin flip in Game 7. All right, and we all know I sent you guys that stat with with Doc earlier how disgusting that is. He in the history of the NBA, he has the most Game 7 losses. Can never close out a series. His teams. And I know he's retired a long time ago, but you're the guy driving the ship, man. So we know, and we know you can't play for your players, you know what I mean? But, they can feed off you. I mean, you got to do something. Right? Set the tone early, get a T, get a double T, hand the scorecard to your assistant and go get an early shower and see what happens, man. Cause it just, there was no energy in that building. And because of the way the Sixers played, you know what I mean?
I don't even know where to friggin' begin. To be honest, there's nothing that will tell me that they can go up to Toronto and win for a multitude of reasons. This seems to be destined to go 7, and I don't even know what a Game 7 looks like. We've been there before in past series. We've been there in past years. And we're sitting there today, and they haven't played reasonably good basketball in a week. I understand they won Game 3, but we said it in the moment. We said it coming out of it. They had no business winning that game. They had like 26 turnovers. They got outplayed and they stole one because Toronto kind of choked late. So they have not played reasonably good basketball in a week since Game 2 last Monday. So nothing in my head tells me that they're going to all of a sudden hit the proverbial light switch once again and they're going to figure something out. Embiid's thumb is what it is. It's going to be what it is, as far as, his lack of aggressiveness, I guess, whether he's willing to test it, all the pain, he only really knows how much pain he's going through, but it's not going to get any better. I would like to say, listen, Harden's going to figure it out and put the team on his back. But we've gotten to the point now where he's passing up open jump shots. Like he's passing up open jump shots to Matisse Thybulle, who doesn't even look like he should play basketball on any team right now. So that tells me, just being an outsider looking in, that he knows he doesn't have it right now. Whether it's the hamstring, who really cares what it is? It matters is he just doesn't have it. You had one of the hottest three-point shooters of the second half of the season, Tyrese Maxey. The last 3 games, he's barely shot three-pointers. I don't know if that's because of the adjustments they've made or because he's just young and he's becoming passive. He's kind of just passing off to the guys that have more experience than him. I don't know what the hell it is. But his strength, crashing the basket and shooting, not really doing any of that. And when he is, it's all short. It's all short. Tobias, he is what he is. He's really hasn't been the issue in this game or this series. He's honestly carried the team on his back more than Harden has. So I really have nothing to say about him. I just can't get over the fact that they came out of the last 2 games and you look at it now. I'm sure they had it, tonight. I didn't hear Doc Rivers' press conference, but I'm sure he said something along the lines of what he did the last 2 games to where lackadaisical, a lot of standing around, urgency wasn't there. Listen, I'm not going to try and put my minds into the mind of a professional athlete. Very few people know what that is. But for the life of me, I cannot understand why it continuously becomes a storyline, whether it's in a closeout game in Toronto or tonight back home, where urgency is an issue, effort is an issue. I would get it if it's a Wednesday night against Detroit in friggin' February. Okay, fine. You don't have your effort and urgency. Cool. That's Okay. But against this team, which we've said ad nauseum that their strength is effort and efficiency and transition defense and closing out on defense, like everything that we once again do poor, they do well. You have Fred VanVleet, who's in a freaking green jumpsuit. He's not playing. He's one of their better players.
They're better without him.
Jake, I was just gonna say,
they're better without him. It's funny. It's funny. Like thinking about when he's playing this series and when he hasn't. Like they're smaller, so it helps us. It helps us because of Maxey on the floor. Now they're positional as basketball, and that's why they crush it. That's why they take you to the basket. They can do whatever they want. They got guys who can shoot the three that are lengthy and then get to the bucket. And then Gary Trent and the other issues, games 1 and 2, Gary Trent was sick. So you didn't get the same Gary Trent you're getting now. So they're more lethal, and now Scottie Barnes is back. The Sixers are going to win this series. Okay, I'm not going to like do this right now. Right? They still got to win. They still got to win 2 games. Right? So I'm going to take my chances of the Raptors not winning 4 in a row. I think that's not crazy because listen, it's Philly, but I don't think that's happening. I just think we leave this series not feeling anywhere as good as we were going to feel leaving it in 5 and even leaving it in 6. Right. Leaving it in 4 or leaving it in 5, we would have felt the same way, compared to now it's extended. And again, not just extended, it's the way it happened tonight. It's like we all have eyes and we all watched it and we watched the team with just didn't match the energy. And I saw Bill with a comment earlier. Bill, that's the most egregious question of all time. Like asking me, well, you thought nobody wanted to see you after Embiid's game winner. Bill, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help the people. Okay. And this isn't an excuse. This is factual. This is common sense. Okay. That comment was made, Bill, before we knew there was a torn goddamn fucking ligament. Okay. In his shooting hand. Right. So miss me with like the sort of backhanded, like, oh, anybody want to see you now type where I know this is going. All right. Come on. Do I feel the same way? Of course I didn't feel the same way from the second I heard about the hand. Nobody did. And if you still felt the same way about this basketball team, then I don't know how to help anybody. But they still should win this series because if they don't, then everybody should get fired. Everybody should get moved, but Embiid.
and that's where it comes back to that earlier question about coaching. I mean, like, I understand. The players were terrible tonight, but we always talk about. Listen, you got to have some kind of philosophy. I mean, 37 threes again tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I know we shot well early in the series. You know what I mean? So you're going to have nights. You know what I mean? Like, we're not the Warriors. This isn't like, hey, we live by the 3, die by the 3. Like, if we're not shooting the ball well earlier, then let's go inside, get to the rim. All right, get to the free throw line. All right, there's no reason Joe should. I'm not putting it on him. I'm saying no reason he should take. Should be 0 for 4 from 3. You know what I mean? You got a bad hand, big fella. Right? Post him up, get on the block where we can. Where you can. Try to abuse somebody. All right, and you ain't got to worry about that thumb as much, as you're trying to hit NBA threes. You know what I mean? I need him inside. It was just too much. It was too much stagnant. It was too much helter skelter. We just didn't seem like, we had a clue what we were doing in the half court. And that's tough to watch. So then that's when I turn that on coaching. All right. So, I don't bail the players out, but that's when I need a coach, man, to step in and have, some kind of game plan.
The thing that pisses me off the most, and Tom, you and I talked about it, pre-show, and you and I disagree with this, which is fine. And preface it for the fam, like I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to react off of one game. I'm not trying to do like the panic fuel type thing. I'm not. I'm just expressing what I truly believe. Even if they do win this series in 6 or 7, like it's going to take me something really extreme for me to all of a sudden go into next series. And I get it. Like, listen, every series is different. Matchups are different. I get it. But you had numerous opportunities to put this team away and you fall into your same old issues. How am I supposed to feel good going forward? So am I supposed to look at it like, oh, okay, say you do find some, I hate using this phrase, but like lightning in the bottle to somehow turn the corner either in Toronto or God forbid if it goes 7. And then, oh my God, we have to go up against a better team, a deeper team, a more talented team in the Heat, and expect this is the year we're going to get over the hump.
None of it matters anymore. This is what I'm trying to make the point. Like, if he's not, if this is an issue, we're not the same team. Like, so none of it matters. Like it's not a cop out. Like, none of it matters. If Joel can't give me 35 in a game, right? If he can't do the things he was doing, if this really hinders him, we're not a contender anyway, because we don't have enough other firepower. I think we all knew that coming into it, but we're all resting on him. We're on the backs of him saying, well, this guy can't be stopped. And even against Miami, I'm going in that series with a healthy Embiid, even if this went 6, right? This series here, right? And saying, hey, I still feel like I can beat them. I can win a series in 7. Like, I still feel like I can if Joel's fully healthy. But listen, with this guy, everything's out the window. None of it matters anymore. If we win a series, good. If we don't, it's expected. It should be expected. Like, our expectations have drastically changed from one MRI. I mean, when one MRI popped the balloon, it's what it did. It's what it did. I think it did it to all of us. We just had to watch them play. And if you watch them play tonight, you could tell. You could just tell. You could tell offensively that it hindered, how it's hindering him. Now, can he gut it out and maybe give you 30 here and there? Probably, because he's that talented. But, I don't. You said right. We don't know his pain tolerance. We don't know how it feels. We can just go off what doctors say how it feels, and everybody I've heard say shit really hurts. So I would assume it's not ideal, especially dribbling the basketball, shooting the basketball in the post, out the post, wherever. It doesn't matter, right? So if he's not healthy, none of it matters. And tonight would have been a night where something else could have mattered, right? Like Harden, anything like a great team win, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's where tonight would have told me, and I think a lot of us, okay, even though Joel isn't 100%, we're still really good, right? And tonight showed me the complete opposite of that. If this guy's not carrying you, you're scoring 88 points.
And the biggest indictment of it all is that you kind of knew, we kind of knew just from sitting back that Embiid's not going to have it early. He had it a little bit, but then the biggest difference is he's not crashing the boards because there's nobody on Toronto that can guard him. Hell, there's 2 guys that can match up against him. And when he's in the interior, there's nobody that can guard him. So instead of, it's like, okay, Embiid doesn't have it tonight, or let's take a little bit of pressure off of the guy who's put the team on his back the entire year. Let's get some ball movement, going and all that. It's freaking the same standing around ISO ball junk. Same stuff. Like, okay, I'm not trying to put it on a 21-year-old kid, but it's like, Maxey, we're going to need one of those where you just continue to be aggressive, take some shots. You're faster than anybody on the court. Didn't see that. Harden played like he's 90. Tobias, he did what he could, but it's just
Larry wasn't their best player. All right, just want to chime in there. You know what I mean? Kawhi's pretty good. All right, so
yeah, it didn't matter. And they had Siakam, and they had
maybe just keep maybe just drive by with that. You know what I mean? Like nobody's blaming the thumb. You know what I mean? Tom's just saying that, stating the obvious. Like if the big fella's not the big fella, then we fucking stink. We're just fucking we're a legit 7 seed. Okay, we're nobody, man. We're nobody. We're just, it is what it is. So that's all you were saying. I think everyone's here, an excuse, right? It's factual, right? The dude's got torn ligaments in his thumb. That's all.
Yeah. All Tom, if anybody doesn't understand it in the chat, all Tom's saying is basically what we've all looked at, and that's Embiid's the biggest mismatch in basketball. If he cannot be that mismatch, it's going to hurt our playoff chances.
Yeah,
so
big time.
I don't know why that needs to be re-explained to people. It's Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's not freaking 7'2".
Yeah.
Christ almighty.
Give me this injury to Tobias, not Joel, right? You know what I mean? Like, give me this injury to Harden, maybe. I mean, give me this injury to anybody but Joel. And it just changes the whole landscape of how we should feel. Like I said, I still think they win this series. I still think they do somehow. If that's 6, if that's 7, I don't know. But I still think they win this series. But, I mean, I don't know where. I mean, they got to get really lucky and have some guys go to hell off in a Miami series that you're not expecting for it to have a chance. If he's not Joel. And I know the hand's not going to get better, but the more days you have down, the less swelling and inflammation you have in it, and then you can go again, and then the pain's going to come right back, but then you can go again. So our only hope was to sort of give it a little bit of breather, and treatment's not going to heal it, but it can help him, right? At least a little bit, right? So if he's at 80%, maybe you can get him to 85, because 85 is still good, right? So That's what we're praying for. But I mean, people the other night were like, "Oh, Joe goes for 40 tonight." Like that. I don't know how you could say that. Like, I don't know how anybody could say that. We gotta hope other guys show us in Game 6 in a hostile environment that they're playoff ready, right? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the only hope you can have moving forward is if you get a big win up there, right, boys? And then you're like, okay, like I still don't have a ton of confidence in this team, but at least they did it. At least they went and took care of business there, right? And didn't let it get back here. Right, then I'd feel a little bit more comfortable, but right now it's tough to say that they're beating anybody.
Can we all do a friggin' team exercise, please, for everybody's damn sanity? Can we not make this about Drummond and friggin' Seth Curry for once? They just newsflash, they got swept an hour ago. Andre Drummond was not playable. Seth Curry is a guy. Can we?
It's not Steph. It's Seth. Take over a game.
Can we stop talking about the team that just got freaking swept? Can we stop? What are we doing? Can we make it about the team, the people that are on this team?
Take over. Once? That's fantastic. That could be a comment of the night. Seth can take over a game. Wow.
Yeah, when?
I know.
When has he ever done that?
I'm not even sure in college.
Jesus Christ. Like, what do we do? Like, if we're going to talk about Harden being 90 or Maxey not stepping up or Embiid being hurt or Doc Rivers being awful, I get it. Stop talking about people who are on a team that just got swept. My God.
Eric, I mean, how can you expect anything? I said I wouldn't expect much without a healthy Joel Embiid. But how could you expect something? I mean, how could you expect anything? Well, I don't know. I mean, you go to Toronto and Maxey goes off, right? Or like Harden looks like he can play again. I mean, that's the only hope you have moving forward, right? That like, okay, this doesn't get to a 7, right? And you go beat somebody in their building, which has been a house of horrors for us, outside of Joel's game winner, right, boys? So, right, that's the only way you can hop back on the wagon and feel comfortable moving forward. But without him 100%, especially with the hand, I don't know. Now, should it affect his effort tonight? No, it shouldn't affect his effort. But I mean,
that's your supporting role. That's when, like I said, that's when you take the next step. You know, if you want to ever be, considered. If you're, got a little Adobe thing there. Sorry. If you ever want to be considered a good team, that's where and take the next step. To your point is like that's where the supporting cast comes up. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the Mavs, they want a game without Luka, right? Because Brunson went for 41. The other dude was like hit 7 threes, whatever his name was. You know what I mean? They had two guys step up and steal one. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do. And obviously, I don't think we could ever do that. But that's the kind of yeoman's effort you need. From your supporting stars, you know what I mean? Like, your supporting cast, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like when that guy's, he's not 100%, somebody has to step up, and nobody, it was like a hot potato. It was like a hot potato tonight. You know what I mean? Nobody wanted to step up. Nobody wanted it.
No. And the guy that needs to do it is James Harden. And that's the biggest issue with this team is that he's not the type of scorer he was. And that happens to guys, and now it's clear as day. It's clear as day. He just doesn't shoot with efficiency anymore, and he can't get anything around the bucket. It's really a block party.
Keezy, with you, Keezy. I laugh every time I hear. They just get him confused with Steph. I think it's like
I saw a million times in the chat. Oh, bro, he's not the reason they lost the series. I never said he's a freaking. If he's not going to do something there. I'm done. I'm not even going to go into it because if people honestly believe that we were a Seth Curry away, I can't help anybody. Enjoy that life. I'm not joining you. I'm not joining you. I'm not wasting my breath anymore with it. Two guys that were very little help to the friggin' Brooklyn Nets. If they went off for 30 and Drummond had 20 rebounds, okay, come back to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't even know why it's even still talked about.
Yeah.
Revisionist history. Brought it up early here. Not going to go in revisionist history. You had to make the trade, and you had to hope that Harden still had it. You know what I mean? Or at least enough in the tank. there was still stuff in the tank. And
Or wanted to shed that, shed the stink on himself and shed the label. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes maybe that motivates you. You know what I mean? Because I know, strip clubs motivates them, and popping champagne, all that stuff that motivates them. You know what I mean? And and at the time, and all this, volume shooting, in years past, I know all that stuff motivated them. Right? Winning never motivated them. All right, so we were, all you were doing was hoping, and you were just fingers crossed. You were hoping that pride set in, and he wanted to shut some critics up and try to get to an Eastern Conference Finals or get to a Finals. You know what I mean? Where he can be part of something and say, he could say, hey, listen, all that playoff James stuff is out the window because you ain't got to win all the time. You only got to win once. You know what I mean? I got news for you.
Bill, you're on this narrative again, Bill. Like, remember guys wishing Ben tore his ACL back a while ago? Injuries suck. What are you talking about? Who was wishing Ben tore his ACL? Who was yelling and screaming about Ben tearing their ACL? I don't understand. Can we keep this conversation relevant, please? And not try to have agendas, right? So you just actually took a shot at our guy getting hurt, right? Like, it's in a backhanded way. That's what you just did. You were cheering on that our best player got hurt.
Yeah, is that supposed to be a karma thing? People talk about Ben and now Embiid's hurt. Who wished ill will on Ben Simmons with an ACL? We don't have, and newsflash, Bill, we didn't have to wish injury on Ben because he does that to himself. He just makes up injuries. So makes it even more, fraudulent what you're saying because nobody had to wish any injuries on him. He doesn't play, period.
When was this? My only other question is, when was this? My only saving grace in all this is when did the ligament happen? Because I'm done on Ben. When did the ligament happen? Was it during Game 4? Or sorry, during Game 3? I mean, was it before the buzzer? Was it before the shot at the end? The
hand bandage showed up after halftime in Game 3, but I think the injury actually happened in the regular season, but it got worse during Game 3. If I'm giving my honest opinion, because he's been screwing with the hands and the thumb for about 3 weeks now, if I'm being honest. So what I think, again, I have no idea. Just watching it, I think it was a case where it was an initial injury, kept playing on it, then it worsened.
Yeah, because he dunked it. The dunk in Game 3, the monster throwdown in Game 3 is when he really started shaking it. Mm-hmm. So, but the point is that's when he really hurt it again, and he buried the 3. So I'm trying to hold out hope for us because I don't want to be all doom and gloom. It's no fun that way, obviously. And that came after the fact. I still can hope that maybe Game 6 he comes back and is dominant Joe. Maybe he locks in.
He threw a monster dunk tonight too. So, like you said, maybe it's we know it's ligaments, but maybe they can tape it up and continue to get some treatment on it and whatever you can do to keep the range of motion, kind of keep it in place. So it's not maybe moving on.
The Rye earlier. I mean, imagine you grabbing a Fisher Price ball. Your thumb's just your guide anyway. So your thumb's really just your guide. It's your fingers that are going to really do the motion. And when your hand's that fucking big, you're using your fingers. So it's for him just to feel out his fingers again. It's just going to come down to, can he engage himself with it, or is he thinking about it, right? Because tonight looked like a think about it. Tonight looked like a guy just wasn't engaged, right? I'll give you one. I'll give you one because of it. But I need Game 6 to give us hope too in this conversation. You need a Game 6 from him that really make you feel like halfway.
Sure.
Halfway.
And George, it's not really panicking. It's just more about how we play. It's how we play. Like we said, we dealt with losses before. You know what I mean? We're, we live in the Philadelphia area. We kind of get you kind of get used to it, right? But it's how you lose and how you show up in a closeout game at home. You know what I mean? Like, with a chance to rest when one of your players is injured. You get a chance to rest. You know what I mean? Because obviously the Heat are going to close it out tomorrow. So they're going to be they're going to be sitting there for a while. So it's just about how we played. It's not like I think Tom or Ryan said earlier. Toronto comes in, throws a buzzer beater in. You're like, oh man, okay, it's one of those nights. You know what I mean? But to not show up, from pillar to post is embarrassing and disgraceful and unacceptable.
They haven't looked engaged in a week.
So that's no panic. That's real talk. Unacceptable effort tonight by the 76ers. That's it.
And Tom, the one thing I would say real quick on Joe, and by no means fam am I like piling on the guy. The guy's hurt, obviously, but he hasn't looked engaged the last 2 games. Because he didn't look engaged at all in game, 4 in Toronto?
Toby, how big are your hands, Toby? I mean, you tell me how important the thumb is. I'm not telling you that the thumb's not important. I'm not telling you it doesn't hurt when you shoot. I'm just telling you it's more on the side, right? It's still finishing, right? Your thumb's still part of the motion. I get it, right? But it's even the more the fact of dribbling and any types of movement with it. So, I mean, the whole all basketball, you're going to need your thumb.
Is that a picture of Dave Chappelle? Is that a picture of Dave Chappelle?
I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, when your hands are that big, you can be more fingery. Not saying he doesn't use his thumb, but the thumb's mobilized right now. Right? It's stabilized. Sorry. The thumb's stabilized right now. So it's not even moving.
We wasted a good night from Danny Green. He was probably our best player tonight, and that's a sad thing to say. I mean, like, and I tip my cap to him, nice job. I crush him a lot, So, I just want him to be consistent, like, but never, ever would I expect Danny Green to be our best player in any game. Even on a night if he hits 9 threes. I'd be like, he's still
he kept us in the game and going in a half. It's like, Jesus, without Danny's 9 points, we would have scored 4 points in the second quarter.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just ugly. It's just ugly. It's like we were talking about. It's no energy, and I don't know how you don't have energy, like, period, in a playoff game. I don't know. Philly sports passion question for you guys: if you lose Game 6, what's your
4?
Yeah,
because you're 3-0. If it was one of those, like, if it was a seesaw series, and then, that's what you play. That's what you play the regular season for, to get home court. Especially in a Game 7. So that would probably be that was probably why I would have it at a 4, right? But if you lose 3 in a row, and especially if you get doored in the next game in Game 6. All right, then that's why I'm at like a 3 or a 4, and I'd probably be at a fucking 1 if we weren't, at home. But we got the Doc Rivers, statistic going against us. We got the big fellas hurt. We got them winning 3 straight with all kinds of momentum. And the fact that it's us and we can't have nice things. So I'd be about a 3 or a 4 myself.
Yeah, I'm at a 3, and to Sweeps' point, the only reason why I'm even at a 3, it's because at least we're not up in Toronto.
Yeah, I'm at like a 2 if we lose Game 6.
What's you two and the fam? What's your confidence level that they win Game 6?
An 8. I think they win Game 6.
Oh my God.
I don't know how I can say that. 2 losses like this, but they did win 3. They did win 3 in a row against them prior to this. So, it's been a little back and forth shift. I think they win. I think they win Game 6. I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna look good. I just think they win Game 6. I don't know if we're gonna shoot 25% again from 3 and like 30-something% from the field again. You know what I mean? That'd be 3 straight games of like poor shooting. So I think we'll be better. I don't think we're gonna score 88 points again. Thank God. I'm not running around. I want to load up money on it. But I just think it's like an 8. What do I need to be drug tested for, Frank? Like, you act like we're playing the fucking Warriors. I mean, come on. I'm not like acting like we're going, and it's the biggest uphill test of all time. I mean, come on, Frank. The freaking Toronto Raptors. Okay, you act like they're up 3-2 in the series. Like, at the end of the day, it's an ugly 2 games. It's an ugly 2 games.
Buzzer beater away from being up 3-2.
Yeah, but that's, you know what I mean? They're not.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? They're not up 3. They're not up 3-2. They're down 3-2 because that's the game. That's the game of sports and basketball. It's not lucky, Frank. It's not lucky. Like a guy burying a shot to win a fucking game. Now we're calling it lucky. I hate that shit. Like that's revisionist bullshit to me. They're up 3-2. They didn't play great in game 3, but they won a basketball game. So now we're gonna do this like it's like a regular season. Well, hey, throw an asterisk next to that one. No, it's a playoff win. I don't care if they go up there and win by half a bucket somehow. Like half the bucket goes in, like half the basketball gets cut in half and goes in the net. Like, I don't care if they win that way in game 6.
Sweeps.
I want to believe, and I'm going to have my hat on, but I don't think so. I think Toronto finds a way to get it done, and we're coming back home for game 7. So, but
yeah, it's going
to be wrong.
Yeah, I'm just hoping my game 6 was right at this point. You know what I mean? Got nothing else to hang our hats on. So, depending on where you had them, I just think this would make so much sense, right? Like you get, you get embarrassed at home, right? You got embarrassed tonight. So I got to think if you got anything between your legs when you get embarrassed, that now you're going to come out with your best fight. That's what I'm hoping for, praying for. Like you got embarrassed now. Everybody's talking bad about you. So maybe they can give us a little fight back, right? Yeah. And a place where we don't play well, too. That's what makes it so Philly. Like, everybody's out. Look at it. You know what I mean? We read the chats. We get the pulse. I'm not saying I'm not halfway out the wagon, right? Like, I'm hanging on to the tires right now, and my hands are just getting ran over, right? But I just want to hang on for one more time around the block, okay? But, come on. I mean, it'd be totally Philly where we're all done. We're all out, and they go and, like, really take care of business in game 6, and you're like, okay. Right? Like, they pull you right back in a little bit. Right back in a little bit. And that's what would happen. We just get pulled back into it. Right? Like Joe goes for 35 and we're like, it's fine. We're back. And then we lose in 5 to Miami. And we're like, oh, we're not back. We're in the same spot we've been the last 3 years. Second round exit. It's been real, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. But I'm telling you, I'm watching the Sixers game more than I'm paying attention. And I know there's going to be a big conversation this week, but like this Sixers game is more important to me than who the fuck Howie Roseman drafts. You know what I mean? Like I can find out. I gotta be glued into this now. Now they got to do this to me, right? They got to do this to me and put me through this when it should have been a free night. Should have Shouldn't have anything to worry about but the draft. That's all that should have been worried about. And here we are. Now Thursday night we got to double dip it. Right, you're gonna need a Greg Milwaukee setup. You're gonna need 2 TVs. You're gonna need one of them types of situations. It's fucking bullshit. We shouldn't have to be worrying about the Sixers because we shouldn't have had this effort. And if James Harden doesn't show up in game 6, I think it. Even if we win, I think that's all we need to see. I think it's all we need to see, boys. So.
Yeah, agreed. This is a monster game for James and Glenn. So both of those two guys seats are hot.
Sixers did it on purpose, to mess with Howie. Right, Eric? Yep. No, that's not the one I wanted. No, everybody's saying they're blowing a 3-0 lead now. Like now it's like a guarantee. I don't see that. I'll take bets. Not confidently, but I'll take bets. I just can't believe they blow a 3-0 series. Like I just can't. I can't believe it because we literally sat here after game 3 and it was over. Right? Like we all knew we had to go get one more, but it was over. This is fun. Now we're done. Yeah, Reed. I mean, Glenn Bowe would be the guy to blow a 3-0 lead. He would be.
Yep. Yes, he's he doesn't have a good checker. His pass is not good in these situations, in these closeout games.
Could you imagine? Though? Oh my God! This offseason,
adding that to his resume.
If he blows a 3-0 series lead, he should never get a job anywhere in the NBA ever again. And I'm not the guy to like run coaches out because obviously they don't play. But if you blow If you blow another one and then a 3-hour,
Simpson. You got Homer Simpson. You got Homer Simpson.
Sunset.
You got Homer right into the bushes. Homer Simpson right into the bushes.
Tom, was your question rhetorical or legit? Could you believe it? Is that rhetorical or is that real?
No, it's both.
Because yes, I could believe that. I could see that.
I mean, I hope not to see that.
Oh, same.
I mean, that's like the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, you know what I mean? That's like
no, it's worse. It's worse.
That mean I don't know if now because that's a Super Bowl loss like that. Never worse. But you know, that game's over. That's one game and that's over. This is bad. If they blow it, if they blow it.
Let's hope we don't play like the Jazz. Let's hope we don't play like the Jazz in Game 6.
This guy's talking smack on Drake, saying he's coming for the sweep.
Mavs up 33. My goodness.
Goes from that to where he's coming right back home to Toronto.
I mean, we would have
to avoid a sweep of their own. Wouldn't that be ironic? He says, I'm coming for the sweep. Toronto then sweeps, wins the next 4. That's ironic.
It'd be the most Philadelphia thing ever. But I just can't. I don't see it because again they're tough, right? I think we all know this, and they have some skill players, and they play like positional basketball and all that. I just don't know if they're good enough to do that, right? But we could just not bring energy, and then they could be very well good enough to do it. So you know, I just don't know talent wise because that's a big thing to ask. Like go beat somebody else 4 times in a row like that after you're down 3-0. That's why it doesn't happen, right? You know, that's why it doesn't happen. It's a tall thing. It's a tall task, and I just don't see them having the ability to do that. Like because you know they don't just got to go win Game 6. They got to then come back here and win Game 7. Now all the momentum's on their side for Game 7, sure, but it's hard to do that. Like it's just hard. It's hard.
I hear you on that, but the first thing that goes to my head as a retort to that is, who the hell are we?
Well, yeah, we're inconsistent and soft enough for that to happen.
Yeah, like I don't say Toronto could go to a Game 7 because they're great or they're even good. I say it because who the hell are we?
Well, no, I'm not crowning us to say like we're so good because we're no. Just to make a point, I'm not saying like we're so good so you know we won't blow that kind of lead. No. It just doesn't happen in basketball because of the ebb and flow with just in games and series, right? That this happen. So it just never happens, and we're good enough to have one game where we actually are fucking engaged to win one. Because all you got to do is just match them. If you match them, you're in a basketball game. If you don't match them, you're not, obviously, right? As we saw tonight. But every time they've matched their energy in this series, we came out looking good. So I got to believe in one of the next 2 that we check between our legs and find out there's something there, and we match somebody's fucking energy. That's it. Because like, are they going to outwork us for 4 straight? I got to believe that they have a game somewhere in the next 2, if it does that, where they don't have the energy, right? Or they're just not making shots, right? Like something where it just isn't going their way. But this is an inconsistent basketball team. It has been all year for the most part, right? One night they'll look like world beaters, and the next night you're like, why are we not moving the basketball? Why is everybody standing still, right? Why is it the same old conversation, and then nobody rotates on defense? Like, how does that happen? And like you said earlier, right? Hey, Detroit regular season, we get it, right? Miami regular season, you're in South Beach a little bit too much. I get it. Right, a closeout game, I can never wrap my head around it. A Game 4, sure. A Game 4, yes, absolutely. I can find a team, you know, winning one on their own court to take it to 5, right? But that Game 5 is put your foot on somebody's throat, and it's honestly unacceptable that we're even having this conversation tonight. 1, to lose. 2, to never be in a game, really. All right, you're never in a game. So that's what's the most disturbing thing. Like I said earlier on, if you get beat on a last possession shot, you're like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, you're not happy about it, but you're definitely not feeling like we're feeling right now, as bad as we are, right? Because we lost because we didn't decide to show up with effort. When we talk about this all the time, what's your controllables? Energy and effort.
Yep.
And you shoot, and like Sleep said, you shoot the 3 ball like you're the fucking Warriors. Like, calm down, do what they do. They beat you up inside tonight. Everything was going to the basket downhill, and now we don't want to go downhill?
Incredible. Incredible.
You guys have any winners of the game? Brought to you by FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. Daily NBA contests, daily MLB contests. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. $50 value. FanUp right on the Apple Store. You guys have any winners?
Yeah, probably my cable bill, because I'm gonna have to find 2 TVs for Thursday now. So
another cable company.
Yeah.
Another box. Get a guy another box and TV.
I'll give it to the whole Raptors team. That's you're playing for your lives. You come in here and absolutely door the Sixers on their own court. Wasn't even a game. Was never in jeopardy. There was never in doubt. It was what we like to call in the business a jog. All right, so
I hate to give it to this guy. But I thought Siakam was tremendous tonight. I thought he's been tremendous the last 2 games. This is why we talked about when we were talking trades before, right? When we were on the trade machine earlier on, right? This is why this guy interests us, because he is a ball player. He is tough, right? He is physical. He is downhill, and he can shoot it. And tonight he shot it really well. I didn't look at his box score. I feel like he shot it really well. Like, I feel like there was points where I'm like, is this guy going to miss tonight? Like from in his jump shot game. Now, I don't think he can do that. That's the problem. Like, he's very good, right? But he's going to have a little clunker at some point in game 6 or game 7. He just will. And that's why I don't think that they're good enough to do what they're expected to do, what people are assuming they're going to do.
10 for 17, 2 for 4.
Yeah, it's a great night from him. Great night from him. And he's obviously their leader. But you know what I mean? No, Fred's not coming back, so they don't get that offense back for right now, right? So it really becomes a Siakam show. And then obviously there's other guys that really feed off of him too, right, guys? But I don't think he's that player to do that.
No,
that's a lot to ask.
The needle mover in the last 3 games has been Ochua.
Yeah, precious.
Coming off the bench and playing like friggin' prime Shaq. I mean, just eating up Embiid in the interior.
Yeah, I wasn't even going down to him. I mean, obviously he's played really well the last 2 games too. I don't think he's going to obviously do that game in, game out.
He's easy because he's getting he's 7 for 11 with easy looks. So
too easy. I make him shoot jumpers, right? Like, he's 1 for 5 from 3, and when Embiid got in trouble with, it was trying to close out too much. No. Let him take the shot and just get a hand up in it, right? Like, don't let these guys get to the basket. And that's what Nick Nurse did great tonight. He got them in the pick and roll and got Embiid on the perimeter having to defend, and Embiid was too worried about closing out. Then hey, you know what? Siakam, if he's on Siakam, shoot the 3. Go ahead. You know what I mean? If you're on Precious, shoot the 3. You're 1 for 5 tonight from 3, Precious. You know what I mean? Let him shoot the damn 3 ball. Don't let these guys like Sweeps that get easy buckets. But I just don't think Siakam is going to can carry their. I think he'll have a game where he shoots it bad. Make sense? Where he shoots it bad because maybe we make an adjustment to him or whatever, or we get the ball out of his hands. I don't know. I got to feel like he's not going to have. But even Anunoby's played well. I mean, listen, this is what happens when you win basketball games, right? You're going to have a lot of guys who play well. But I think we all feel the same way about the Raptors. They're really tough, right? And they do it without a lot of talent, right? They do it with more toughness. I think that's hard to sustain for 4 straight in a series, like coming back. You know what I mean? To win a series, no.
I mean, to your point, Tom, the only guy, again, if Van Vliet stays out for games 6 and 7, the only guy that you really got to worry about, at least in your starting 5, if you're the Raptors, about getting hot from 3 is Gary Trent.
Yeah,
and even he was 2 for 6, and all of what he did was kind of getting them started early in the game, and kind of Siakam picked it up from there. But
25%, right, as a team, right? So why not just I'm not saying let him get open looks, but like get hands and faces, but just don't let their bigger guys get to the bucket.
Well, they scored so damn easy, everything, and I don't even I would have to go back and look at the splits with offensive and defensive rebounds, but I mean, how many times did they just make layup, layup, and we're forcing, corner threes or over the backboard twos by Tyrese Maxey with 2 seconds left on the clock. It's again, like I get it. If they were making tough shots, all credit to them. But it's just like, okay, here's a layup, and we couldn't buy a friggin' layup. We couldn't even get there. They were closing out on the perimeter. I don't know, man. It's sickening. It's sickening.
Basketball. Yeah, listen, it's a disgusting loss, right? I'm just going to say that the Siakam 6 for 16 game, the Siakam 6 for 17 game will happen, and that's the game you got to take. Obviously, right? That's where I think the difference comes. Like they'll run out of steam if they don't have Freddie too. Like I think they'll run out of steam offensively at some point. It's some game in this series. That's my hold out hope conversation. That's where I'm holding out hope. And I say that, and now Siakam will probably go for 30 and then 35. 35 in game 7, by the way.
And it's like, if you're Doc Rivers, what's the adjustment you have?
I just what I said. I play 2-3 zone, and I don't let him get to the bucket, and I don't wait till 9 minutes in the fourth quarter to do that. I start the game out in a 2-3 zone, and I say you're going to have to shoot me out of it. You can shoot me out of it. Shoot the lights out in your own building. You're going to have to for 2 straight games, because for 2 straight games, if we lose game 6 and game 7, I am saying you're going to have to shoot your way into the next round. I will, and if you do, credit to you. But I'm going to make everybody on that perimeter have to be a jump shooter. And if they shoot you out of it and they win a series because of it, hey, credit to them. But I don't think they do. And I also don't think he'll run the zone. Yeah. I think he's a stubborn mule too, right? That's why he blows leads. So I don't know if he's going to run the zone. But if I'm him, I come out game 6 in Toronto and we're in a 2-3 zone. It helps Harden out, who can't defend, and it helps Embiid out just to be around the basket more, right?
It's like Glenn Rivers thinks he's too good for the zone. It's like they talk about it in the huddle, and he asks his head, his assistant coaches, would Popovich run would he run the zone? Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Glenn. Pop would run it with Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan. Would Pop run the zone?
Yeah, obviously you talk about the shooting aspect of it, which is a major thing, when you're running the zone. You're forcing people to make jump shots and make threes. So. What you were alluding to. But the other thing is it's just a change of pace. It just gives somebody a different look. And when you run something different at somebody, they gotta adjust to it. They might not be comfortable with that because it's the NBA. They're like, nobody plays zone. You know what I mean? So, very, very rarely, excuse me. So, you know what I mean? Like, like this, if you just keep switching it up, then they constantly got to make adjustments on the fly. If they don't know what you're going to, if they don't know what you're going to be sitting in, hey, they're going to come down the court, come down a possession, say, hey, let's go. Hey, we're going man here. Pick up a guy. All right. And then you run a couple possessions of zone out. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, next thing you know, maybe you frustrate them, you fluster them, and you go on a 10-0 run in somebody else's building.
Yeah. And we didn't get that run tonight at all, right? Because we shot so poorly. Like if we had one, and this isn't like revisionist history, but you're talking about this team has one run tonight, they're in this basketball game, right? It makes sense? And that's the crazy thing. Like, they didn't have that big run. They would have little runs where they have like little 4-0, 5-0 runs. They get it to 9, right? But they never had the 10-0 run, which I think we were all waiting for. I think we were all waiting for like an 8-0 run, something of substance tonight, right? To get us going, and we didn't have it.
Well, we saw, to your point, Tom, we saw about 3-4 times in the second half alone to where we would, go on a 5-0 run, 6-0 run. And the crowd starts getting loud, the defensive possession. Oh, we're trying to get everybody, going in the building again. And then immediately Toronto comes down the floor and gets an easy layup. So it's like when the offense finally started clicking in small sample sizes, here comes they're just going to get a wide open bucket. And it's silenced. And then it starts from scratch again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you thought we got it to 9 going to the fourth, and you felt good about that at home. Even though you're down 9, you should never feel good about being down by 9. But being thoroughly outplayed, got it to single digits. And that's when you're hoping for one of those runs. that you guys were talking about. You know what I mean? That's how, and then you just all of a sudden, now you get it tied, all right, and then you find a way to win it down the stretch. You know what I mean? And that just didn't happen. You know, and it just feels like every game, you know, during the regular season and now in the playoffs, you know, we have that one quarter. You know what I mean? And tonight was the second quarter. You know, most of the year it's been the third quarter. You know, after halftime, you know, we would take a shit and then all of a sudden either let a team back in it or we'd be down 10 going to the fourth, you know what I mean? So, and tonight it was the second quarter, you know what I mean? That, you know, 14 points is a flat out disgrace.
Real quick before we get to Bill's comment, Sweeps, to your point, I thought so many times, especially going in that fourth quarter, all right, just get it to 7, get it between, you know, like you said, just try and get it to that number. And then I sit back during the commercial break. I'm like, wait a second. I'm having the mindset of just get it to 10, just get it to 9.
Yeah.
Who the hell are we playing right now? Are we playing the Suns? Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
and just imagine if you brought energy, then you're not like fighting from behind so much, right? Like if you just match their energy, it's a basketball game. That's just like mind-boggling to your point, right? Because we're not playing the greatest team ever assembled here, or even you know a top 4 or 5 team in the East. They're not even that.
That's the kind of talk we have in our group chats when, you know, we're down, you know, when Harden and Embiid aren't playing and we're playing the friggin' Bucks. You know what I'm saying? When we're undermanned or we're on the road, we're talking about, oh, just hang in there, guys. Oh, just get it to 10. No, screw that. You should be up 20. Or no, forget about it. Should be up 20. This game should have been done 48 hours ago. Enough. And again, we're not wrong by saying that. We're just reacting to what we see on the screen, like, oh, just get down 10. But that's an indictment of the friggin' team.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what are we doing right now? We're trying to hang in there against this friggin' team. And again, like that's no disrespect to the Raptors. Listen, they have us against the friggin' wall right now. But my God, like this is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and they don't have us up against the wall yet.
No,
they're pushing us back. They win game 6. We're then hey wall, then hey wall. Like so, it's not there yet. It's right. They're right there. They're starting to puff their chest to us a little bit. They're hitting us back a little bit. But dude, the whole like losing 2 in a row goes and you guys know this goes totally out the window. You win game 6. That's like it doesn't matter.
You know, and that's what I know what Ryan's talking about, and I agree with him. You know what I mean? But you know, and we certainly. You know, we were just grasping for straws tonight, you know what I mean? But that's what happens when you get beat up and thoroughly outplayed, you know what I mean? Like we were just hoping, you know, to make the bell. We were hoping to get up, you know, by the 3 count and get to the fourth quarter. Saved by the bell. Hey, saved by the bell, get us to the fourth.
Yeah, Tom.
You never had an 8-0 run. You never had a 10-0 run. You never had what every basketball team does.
Survive the round. We were trying to survive the round.
Yeah, that's all we were trying to do, and just pray like in the fourth quarter, like, and we got to where we wanted to. We got it to 9, right? Where we're like, oh, okay, we got a chance now, right? And it's like, no, we never did. We never had a chance because we didn't come to play. That's the most discouraging thing about it. Like I said, you lose a basketball game and you're tough and you're physical and you just don't get it done. You know, I'm not saying we're happy, but it's like, okay, right? You know what I mean? All right. But when you have this kind of effort, it's concerning. But Bill, I didn't get a chance to listen to him because I was doing the show. If he took accountability, I mean, you know, that's what we want to hear from him. That's what we saw too. That he played horrible defense. So, I mean, I hope he can come dominate in game 6. And he'll tell us a lot about his health if he can. Because if he's able to turn it on and block it out, right, guys, then we're going to feel a lot better if we win game 6. I think it's as simple as that. Like, we'll go into the Miami thinking we have a chance then. And he looks good, right? If Joel looks good in game 6, we'll at least be brought back in a little bit. Doesn't mean we're going to win the Miami series, right? It just means every series is different. And, okay, we survive. Survive and advance, right? And that's the name of the game, and that'll be the name of the game in the Miami series if we even get there, right? But the only way we're going to get to get there is if Bill's right and he does dominate in game 6, because nobody else is like Harden's not going to dominate. So it's either Embiid or or Maxey. Maxey has one of Maxey's games, right? That's it. Loser of the game. Brought to you by BetUS. Don't be a loser like I was tonight and bet the Sixers. BetUS is a leading online sports book that's been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use the link It's pinned right in our comment section on YouTube and right in our description over on Facebook. You use that link, you get 125% sign-up bonus. So if you lost money on the Sixers tonight, go get it back. Go get it back. I think a lot of us loaded up tonight because you felt like it was a game. I went money line because you just felt like it was a game, but I waited till the game started, right? And I still, like, even after the first quarter, I'm like, all right, they'll respond to this. This is how it's been all series, right? Like, we don't play that great in the first quarter, but then we turn it on, right? And that's what we were talking about before. We were all waiting for that turn on, and it never happened. But go get your money back. Loser of the game, it's the entire basketball team. I think I can speak for all of us. It's the coach. It's everybody. And the big L would be James Harden to me. The big L for tonight. The big L outside of Embiid's defense and looking a little lackluster. We signed you to pick him up. We signed you or traded for you. Sorry. Hopefully right now I don't want to sign you. Not even for $11 or $10. Okay. But we signed you because we needed you or traded for you because we needed you. Right. We thought you could be the perfect complement to him. So wake the fuck up, James. Wake up.
I'll go Matisse Thybulle. I'm done. I'm over it. He single-handedly handed them 13 points. I don't even know how many minutes he played. Doesn't really matter.
Too many.
Yeah, it's to not even look prepared. It's like, what do you do? And I'm not even just talking about like in the break when they went up to Toronto. You've gone backwards in every aspect of your game. You clearly haven't gotten better offensively. I would argue you've gotten worse. The numbers say you've gotten worse. The eye tests say you got worse because you're taking less threes, you're taking less shots, and your volume is down, and therefore your efficiency is down. And I would argue, listen, there's a couple games where he has 3 blocks and he's jumping from side to side and everything. That's because he cheats on the ball. If I'm being honest, like, he's a fun player to watch on defense when he's got it going, but I think that he's actually regressed defensively because I don't know if it's because he knows he could cheat off the basketball because of his wingspan, but like he literally can't keep anybody in front of him now, which is why he walks into 3 fouls when he plays any amount of serious minutes because he has to constantly make up the ground and he's going to be reaching and of course they're going to call it because it's usually a foul.
Yeah, he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good.
Do something better than what you were your rookie year. I've had enough. All three of us could have been
Korkmaz than Matisse.
Yeah. And I can't stand him. But yeah, I agree.
I got a chance of a guy hitting a couple open shots. I'd even consider playing him with Harden because he will shoot it. He won't be timid. And if he makes a couple, then it's a good thing for you. Like that's another one. A guy went to the doghouse when you're not the greatest 3-point shooting team around. You go get Harden, who likes to distribute the basketball, obviously, right? And then that guy don't play. Like, come on, Doc. I mean, like he's having an off year. I got you, right? But that doesn't mean he can't have a game or two where he doesn't have an off one. But that's feeling your players out, right? And that's feeling the room. It said we're going to get B-ball Paul minutes. Not that they're the same position, but we're going to keep watching the dog on the hardwood floor, which I have zero time for. You know what I mean? I'd rather just see DeAndre Jordan. Like, and not saying he's better. I'd just rather see it. I'm over that too. I'm over that. Guys all over the place. I mean, how many times did he get blocked down by the rim tonight on one possession? 3 times in a row? Block. Like, oh my God, dude.
I mean, to your point, like, Corky played 2 minutes and he 1 for 1 had a 3. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that at least 10 threes, but like, guy played 2 minutes and buried a 3. I mean, I think you can find a way to get him, you can find a way to get him some minutes, right? And what we always talk about, like, Thybulle, I don't need to, like, and Ryan already, threw him into his loser, which I love. You know what I mean? 14 minutes, 1 for 6. Don't need to see you.
Sweeps, I'm sorry, but the one was when it went off of Chua's friggin' head.
Yeah, so split those minutes with somebody else that you're going to need for game 6. You know what I mean? Especially when we trailed the whole game. You know what I mean? Like,
Kyle, it's not saying DeAndre Jordan's any good, okay? Kyle Elliott, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the one guy's atrocious to watch too. So I'd rather just have a veteran then. If he's going to just be like all over the place. Both of them, Matisse and him. I don't need to see either one of them on the floor. They bring me nothing offensively. Nothing. I scored 88 points tonight. You know what I mean? Nothing. At least DeAndre Jordan can catch an oop. You know what I mean? Like, people Paul can catch an oop. He would try to reverse it. He would try to 360 it. Right? You know what I mean? He just wouldn't flush it. All right? I'm not saying the guy can't one day maybe help us. Right now is not that time. Not that time. I like his energy. I'm never gonna like question the guy's energy because I like having a guy with a motor, right? But he stinks. He fucking stinks out loud. And so does Matisse. Guys love guys like this. They fucking both stink. Just call it how it is. So play guys that maybe won't stink for a night. You know what I mean? Play a guy like Furkan who maybe can give you 15 off your bench, right, guys? Play a guy like DeAndre off your bench who can maybe give you 8 and all 4 of them being alley-oops, right? I mean, just try something different. Try something different. You're allowed to try something different throughout a game too. Like you don't have to go into a game and like you have to substitute guys in and those guys like are out of the game, right? And like in baseball, you know what I'm saying? Like no, you can go to a different lineup to try to get a spark.
Yeah, I mean, if Shake's going to play 10 minutes, then I need 5 shots, not 0 for 1. Like, what are you doing? What is he doing on the court? You know what I mean? Like, Shake can make threes. He can make some jump. He can get you some points, right? I don't need you running around for 10 minutes and be 0 for 1. I don't care who's, then playing with guys where, you know what I mean? Like, I just, like you said, just pick your spots then. You know what I mean? I understand we got other options here, but if the guy's going to play 10 minutes, then I need him to shoot.
And we know Furkan will, if we like it or not. To your point, like we know that's a guy who will jack. Guy's got no problem jacking. There's no feel for the room. Sometimes in the playoff time, that's a good thing to have, right? Guys not even going to think about it. Just jack. And we know Harden gets guys involved. So, I mean, what do you got to like? I'm saying in game, like, what do you have to lose when you see that you put up 14 points in the second quarter, right? You put up 14 points in the second quarter. So why not come out of half with something different? And then they're like, oh shit, you give them a lineup where they don't expect. You're allowed to, right? You're allowed to come out with like Embiid, Harden, say Matisse, Maxey, and Tobias, like, or Furkan and Tobias. Like, you're allowed to do shit differently. Like, right, or Maxey doesn't have to be on the floor, and Shake could, for instance, right? Or James isn't on the floor, and Shake and Tyrese are on the floor. Like, you're allowed to do something different, right? And say, you know what, we're gonna throw a change up. We're gonna try to get more scoring in here. You're allowed to. It's like it's not frowned upon. Trying something different is not frowned upon.
Take care, Billy. All right, buddy. Congratulations. We hate the Nets. So wasn't really, Celtics are dangerous. Hate the Nets. So I'm kind of giggling inside. So enjoy it, Billy boy.
I'm not even trying to blame Doc. Players play. He can't rotate on defense for him, etc. But I mean, he's the head coach. He's the one who drives the ship. So the players are number one blame, and then Doc goes right with them. I mean, how's he not? Like, you know what I mean? Come on. I'm not looking. We're not like begging to play Furkan Korkmaz. We're just talking. We're just having conversations with you, okay? Of like that you don't have to be missionary in a series. Like it doesn't have to be just these 9 guys. Like just these 9 guys can play. No, they don't even carry anybody else. Then when you score 88 points, you're allowed to try something different coming out of half.
Yeah, nobody said start him, dude. All right, listen up, man. I mean, fucking A, dude. It's unbelievable.
Nobody listens. I said at halftime. At halftime. You fucking scored 14 points in that quarter. God damn. You had no polls. Nobody wanted to fucking play. So put some guys in who maybe want to play. Maybe they want to play tonight.
Yeah, nobody said play him 20 minutes. You said, split the minutes up. All right, I'm tired of looking at other planks. All right, so maybe the dude sits in the corner and can give you a couple jumpers. Right? He wasn't going to be, he wasn't going to, be a game changer. Right, but it contribute. Maybe he can contribute a little bit. I still might.
I think the only reason why Furkan even came up because of how big of a liability Thibault was. So like
yes.
we weren't like that's again, fam. You can rewind this live, but you can rewind it just in case.
Yeah, we gave up 103 points. That's a game I should win. Okay, you understand that? A playoff game I should win. I give up 103 points in a playoff game, right? I know our defense wasn't great tonight. We're still going to give up 103 points. I mean, in an NBA game, you should win that basketball game with the scoring you have. Get a clue, everybody. Get a clue. You scored 88 points in a fucking playoff game. Are we okay?
The last 4 games we've averaged just over 101 points.
Come on, try.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like with what we have on offense on paper, that's ludicrous.
So maybe
one of those. Sorry, Tom. And one of those was in a friggin' 5-quarter game.
Yeah.
So one of them went 5 quarters.
Because we shot great games 1 and 2, and then we went cold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So once you go cold for 2.5
Adjustments.
This is a conversation of who the losers of the game are. So we're just circling everything in. So Doc doesn't get out of this scot-free, people. Like I said, I'm not firing a guy before the playoffs like some jabronis. But once the playoffs get here, I'll be the first one to tell you, hey, we're just going to do this now. We're just going to run the same things out there. Like you told us, we're trying to win a championship. This is what he told us. I'm trying to win a championship, not a B-ball Paul tour or whatever the hell he said. But then that's your guy, and then you start playing him. You fucking idiot. You idiot. I don't care about you playing him, but don't give me a backhanded smack across a reporter's face and then you play him. Who are you? What are you doing? You got the reason you brought in DeAndre Jordan was for this reason. Because he's a veteran. We all know he stinks, but he's a veteran. That's why you did it.
Clamored for him, Tom.
And listen, I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, if you don't think a coach is right up there, to blame, I don't know. I don't know what to help you. I mean, you're either related to him or you just don't get it. Nobody's saying that, that we understand players play. You know what I mean? But that's the reason why coaches get paid a lot of money. Right, and Glenn Rivers has the worst percentage in closeout games in NBA history. Look it up, the worst percentage, right? And he's also lost the most game 7s in the history of the NBA. All right, which is 9. 5 of them at home, and the most in NBA history. I mean, so should I keep going? I mean, like, come on, dude. Acting like this guy, don't deserve any blame, or what I mean.
He's lost 7 of his last 8.
Talking about one night. We're talking about his overall resume.
He's lost 7 of his last 8 sweeps. 7 of his last 8 closeout games.
Jesus.
What did he say, Bill? Harden said that he had the nerve to say that other guys weren't in the right spots. Jesus.
Doc Rivers got a .341 win percentage in closeout games. Among coaches with 20-plus games, it's the worst in NBA history.
Doesn't bode well for the rest of this series, I'll tell you that, or any series, period. Okay, so the guy 4 for 11 and 5 turnovers. Want to talk about who's in the right spots?
I'm trying to find it.
I could do without you. You're 2-3. You were 0 for 4 from 3 until the game didn't matter. Didn't matter, James, at that point in the game. Didn't matter when you hit your 2 threes late in the fourth quarter. Didn't matter when you were 2 for 9 with 5 turnovers before those threes. That's a fucking atrocious. So you know what about who's in the wrong spot, James? You are. Every shot's in the wrong spot.
I'm going to read this and I might then break my computer, because if this doesn't seem like we've gone for full circle, I don't know what does. Joel Embiid says that he really wants James Harden, his point guard, to get aggressive and get aggressive soon. He said it's more on Doc Rivers to talk to him and get him going. He wants Harden to be himself moving forward. We're talking about another point guard playing aggressive. We're back to this.
Yeah.
We're back to Embiid begging his point guard to play aggressive.
And Big Smoke, I agree with you, man. I mean, listen, he don't ever go blameless around here. You know what I mean? Like, we pretty much hate Harden. We just knew, we were accepting it. We knew it. We knew the other guy had to go, and this is this is the hand we were dealt. So we were hoping that that the leopard changed his spots. And he didn't.
Sure as hell doesn't look like he did. But, he needs to step up for game 6. We got to pray for a better effort in game 6. And I don't know. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes from there. But to everything you brought about Doc and the record, if this goes 7, this is where it gets really scary.
When would game 7 even be? Saturday? Sunday?
I can tell you. Hold on. Saturday.
Sure, it'll be an afternoon game, because why not? just to make it harder.
To be determined.
Sixers are favored in Toronto. -1.5 is the early line.
What was the line tonight, Tom? Weren't they like 7.5?
Hook, yeah.
8.5. Interesting out of these past 2 games that they're a favorite in that game in Toronto.
Wonder if it goes to a game 7, would they dare make them a favorite again?
Probably because it's never happened, right?
Yeah.
Until that, until now, but it never happened. But that was my main thing. Like tonight was
Jesus
atrocious,
Christ.
but
I'm gonna do KZ. I'm over the trade. I don't care about the trade. The trade involved a guy who still doesn't play, a role player and a backup center. If you think we're still obsessing over the trade, you're sadly mistaken, my friend. The trade was like 2 months ago.
Who's upset?
Yeah,
Joe? You think Joe's upset? Stop. Come on, stop. Joe's not upset about the trade. Let's
no, I think he's saying I'm upset.
Well, whatever, because people are holding people accountable in post-game pressers. I'm not going to jump off the wagon.
Yeah.
If people are saying, like, hey, he's got to do more, right? Like, this is grown men. This is grown men sports. If guys can't handle the truth, then you're in the wrong sport. Or sorry, you shouldn't be playing professional sports. So, that's where I stand with it. Like, I got no problem with these guys calling it how it is. Taking accountability like Joe did to himself. Right, and blaming the game on him, and then saying, "Hey, I need Harden to do more." Right, like this is the reason Ben didn't want to be here, because people in post games not only blamed themselves, but they blamed him for things as well. That's what happens when you lose. A lot of accountability has to go around. You've got to take ownership in losses. So listen, I think they win Game 6. So I think it's going to be obviously a tight one. But I think they win Game 6, and I think we get a better Joel Embiid, and that's what I'm praying for. So you guys can pray for whatever you want out there that are watching, but I'm praying for the closest thing that we look to be like a healthy Joel Embiid for Game 6, right? Like just some semblance of like, okay, he still looks like he has it. You know what I mean? The point-a-minute guy. You guys know who the guy I'm looking for is. The MVP of the league. I'm looking for him Game 6.
Yep.
Looking for him. Look, I need you. Because obviously these guys aren't going to do it on their own. So you got to just go, take 1,000 ibuprofen, and just go eat. Go eat for 2.5 hours. Go eat. Bill, I think you're trying to create controversy. Like, Embiid owned. I mean, did Harden not own any of his presser? Did he take no accountability for himself?
I didn't see, Bill, I'm not saying you're lying. I looked. I didn't see that quote anywhere, by the way. Like the not being in spots. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but like I feel like if that was that big of a deal, that would literally be everywhere.
I think he was trying to say, hey, we weren't moving, which they weren't. We all watched that. So is that wrong? No. Like, I don't love the comment, but it's all in context. I didn't hear it. So if it's in a whole conversation of what went wrong tonight, I got no problem with it if it's the truth. Like, everybody gets all caught up in this. If it's the truth, good. Not everything has to stay in house. The truth, this is why you got to sit up there. You got to sit up there and answer questions. So airing out some issues isn't a problem.
Yeah, as long as you're at the top, as long as you're in the fucking accountability boat, sure. I mean, you can air your dirty laundry, you know what I mean? But not if you're fucking hiding your dirty underwear under the fucking bed. You know what I mean? I'm saying like him, you know what I mean? Like, none of us saw it. We were doing this post-game show. So we have no idea what kind of context or, the question or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'll try to find it later and see if I can, and we'll see what it's all about. You know what I mean?
This is why I love people and I love sports, because look at all the guarantees, right? Not only did you not close out Game 5 at home, you got blown out. No way you win Game 6. Oh, okay, no way. No shot. There's no chance they win Game 6. That's what I hate. That's what makes me believe they're going to win Game 6, because of the people that are no shot, right? You think the Sixers will win Game 6 in Toronto with no momentum and team issues? Clowns on here. So now there's all these team issues. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, Matt. So Toronto didn't have any team issues when they're down 3-0? Get a clue. Get a clue. Goddamn clue. This is what I hate.
I mean,
Right. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. No moment.
Me and Brodo picked Toronto. I'm just saying, like, you know.
And Toronto probably didn't have any. I'm not trying to disagree with you, Tom, but like Toronto probably didn't have any team issues because they're not supposed to win this series.
Yeah,
Right? The other guy, rookie of the year, is on one leg. They just snuck into the playoffs. They're not supposed to win.
These team issues. You lost 2 games. You're still up 3-2 in the series. Like this isn't like this is what we try to do. It's what we try to do. We try to pick and pry and look for all these fucking issues when it's like I'm not saying there isn't any, but you're still up 3-2 in the series. You still control your own destiny in the series. So go finish it. You should have did it tonight. You didn't, right? But the people that are telling me no shot, I think it's just egregious. Like to say there's no shot.
Come on back Thursday. Come on back Thursday.
they're a point and a half favorite on the road, but there's no shot they win. Okay. Not saying Vegas, not saying the line's going to dictate the game because it didn't tonight. Doesn't always do that. But don't tell me no shot when Vegas has them as a favorite. I mean, so maybe you're a clown, right? Just a little bit. Don't tell me no shot. You want to say they lose the game? Fine. That's a different type of argument, right? But no shot is egregious.
I see people literally getting offended that we say like, "Oh, they weren't supposed to win." That's not a shot, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you like the friggin' Raptors fans are like so like defensive? You guys won tonight. Nobody's taking shots at you.
I don't even know if they weren't supposed to win. I mean, there's too many people out there probably picking the Raptors before this series.
Yeah, the national media had them as the favorites actually. So maybe I'll stand back on that. Maybe I'll retract.
I mean, I just don't think we have no shot. That's where I think people are just asinine. Like I get it. Momentum shifted a little bit, but you're still up in the series. Right? They got to win 2 games. You got to win 1 game. I would go with I would lose the no shot. No shot. No shot the Sixers win this series. Like, shut the fuck up. You want to tell me that you don't think they win the series? Fine. But don't tell me no shot. Just like I'm going to tell you there's a shot Toronto could win the series. There's a shot. Of course there's a shot the way we've looked the last 2 games. Maybe even 3. Right? But come on.
Hey, Reggie, your rebuilding team that was the 10th seed before the All-Star break. So, yeah, you really weren't expected to be in the situation. Sorry to refresh your memory. I can't with these people, Tom.
No, these people just put words in your mouth, or they just want to trash Philly and they want to trash Sixers and say, just have no feel for like how series go sometimes too. Like momentum in series are weird. Like it can obviously be in your favor for 3, somebody else's favor for 2, and then you can go win the next game. Like, come on, like we're acting like we're playing the Warriors, and we have no shot in the series, right? Like we look this bad, and like we have no shot. If we just bring effort on Thursday, we're gonna have a shot. Do we bring it? I don't got that crystal ball, but I do have the crystal ball in terms of if they bring their energy, they have a shot. If they get to the basket, they have a shot. If they don't settle, they have a shot. I mean, the same team that won 3 games in the series now has no shot. That's funny to me. Fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. You could be down and out. You could have no expectations moving forward, and I won't argue a bit of that shit, right? But I sure as hell will argue no chance. That's it. That's the last time I'm going to say. I'll sure as hell argue that. You want to have like a 4 on 4 out of 10 chance of winning the series? Fine. You can't have a 0. Look at all the people. All right. Well, listen. You guys got any closing thoughts?
They'll show up on Thursday. That's all we got to say.
I'll see you on Saturday.
You're stuck on the 7. Hope you're wrong.
Yeah, I initially had Sixers in 6, so I'd love to be right.
maybe Sweeps, maybe that's my agenda because I had them in 7, so maybe that's just why I'm saying Saturday. Maybe that's my hidden agenda.
I see you.
Yeah, mine's 6 too. That's why I'm hoping. Boys, we don't want to get to a 7.
No.
So, hopefully we don't.
I don't want to get to a 6, but unfortunately we're there.
Yeah. It's just how so the Sixers game's airing again. It's like what to watch. Drive the ball. move around without the basketball, right?
Did nothing. None of the above.
None of the above. None of the above. So we appreciate you all tuning in, commenting in. If you haven't already, make sure you do it. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Stay with us for a while. Turn your alerts on. Tonight's Sixers postgame was brought to you by our doc. Make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Wednesday night we'll be on HCD Wednesday nights, and then Thursday night we'll have 2 different draft coverages for you. We'll have the boys in Vegas doing the Rant booth from Westgate Thursday, and they'll have some former NFL players on with them from Westgate Sportsbook, and then we'll be doing our draft reactions like we always do of a roundtable. And also Wednesday, you'll have 2 different shows from the NFL alumni golf outing in Vegas, and we'll have some former players on that as well. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the follow, hit the damn like. Harden scored the first basket tonight too. That started well. We did have a 2-0 lead. Okay.
Look clean too. Look clean.
Yeah, we did have a lead. We did have a lead. All right. For Nick Delgazzo, Ryan Brodo, I'm Tom Arnone. We love you all. Sixers in 6. Pray for that.
See you Saturday.
Of course, the end broadcast doesn't want to do it. There we go.